Okay, you guys, what is up? The King of Lightning is here today to do my first Attack on Titan Shingeki no Kyojin chapter review. Yay! Now, I said a while ago that I was going to do these things. But if you guys didn't know, I was going to do chapter reviews after the anime was done. So the first season just finished, and in come the chapter reviews. So that's just the way it is. So, because I said that before. Now, this chapter, I think, is a good chapter to start on because it's a massive chapter in terms of the material that it foreshadows for the future of the series and also that is relevant in the chapter itself. And what I will say is that doing these chapter reviews is going to be less strenuous as a whole because they're monthly. Unfortunately, I'm doing them on Wednesday. Well, I'm doing them today, and today is not really a day I like to do chapter reviews for other stuff aside from like the big three stuff. Either way. That being said, Hannes died. I'll be honest, I'm very surprised because I never thought that he was gonna die ever. I'm being very honest. I never thought that Hannes was gonna die, especially by the hands of the same Titan that ate Eren's mother. That to me was whoa. Because I always thought that he was gonna be like their father figure. I mean, Eren's actual father died. Well, didn't die, but you know, like he's MIA. And the thing about that is that Hannes was the guy to like come in there in place of like to be like their father figure in a sense, and because of him, they're alive. Like that's the truth. Because Eren didn't want to leave his mother. He was gonna fight that Titan as a child, and then it was like, no, fuck that shit. I'm gonna grab you and go. So Hannes, I always felt that he was gonna be like a forever character. No. Like, he died, bro. He died. Yeah. And I was like, oh, dude, whoa. Whoa. His body got eaten in half, bro. So, I mean, damn. That's heavy stuff, for sure. I was just shocked. That caught me off guard completely. Oh, and if you're wondering, the chapters are so big that I can't do summaries, alright? They're just way too big. They'll take too long. They'll be like 30-minute reviews. No. That to me is a little bit on the throat. No. Whoa, no. But, actually I've done before, but it's just today, right now, I've done a lot of reviews already. But still, we continue. The main point of the chapter is of course, seeing Eren's new ability, which we're not too sure how it works exactly. But it appears that he has to make physical contact with a Titan. He has to be very emotional, like yell, pissed off, emotional. Before he actually does that, we see his fist like kind of steam up, and it was kind of weird to tell if his fist was steaming up before because we saw his hand regenerating as Hannes was dying. Then after that, when Mikasa's sitting there talking to him about how she's so grateful for Eren and for his family, for giving her these opportunities in life when she wouldn't have them had she had they not come there in the first place, the Jaeger family. And the thing about it is that she's just very grateful for all the stuff, including especially the scarf around her neck. And basically, when we saw those panels of her and him, his hands weren't steaming then. So it was kind of hard to tell if his hands were steaming the entire time, or if his hands steamed at that particular point in time. We don't know. What we do know is that his hands are steaming. He punches the Titan, and then we see the line streaks across his face. And we've seen them before all the time, where the people the humans that can go into Titan form, they usually have the streaks across their face once they are immediately out of their Titan body or they're in their Titan body, and like they have these streaks across their face. And those things form without Eren going into Titan form. They weren't there initially, but now they appear. He punches the Titan, and all of a sudden, it's like it doesn't do anything to the Titan at all. But then all of a sudden, it's like Ymir, Reiner and I can't say his fucking name for the life of me. Bertholdt, whatever the fuck his name is, Colossal Kid. Yeah, him. They all feel something, and then it's like Titans swarm, like straight up. I'm so like Left 4 Dead zombie status shit. Like they just come, like the Titan that ate Eren's mother and Hannes gets straight up packed maliciously by other Titans. All categories, the 15-meter class, the 7-meter class, the 2-meter class, they all just swarm. Just straight, yeah. And they rip this Titan apart. They just rip this motherfucker apart. And it's like, oh, wait, no. And then Eren hauls the fuck out. He hauls ass out. He's like, bro, we gotta move. We gotta move now. Like, the fucking now. And what happens is that as he's running with Mikasa on his shoulder, okay, the Titans that were just around Reiner, of course, they were all being controlled by Eren by some weird way. We don't know exactly how. And then they're running. And that's, of course, when Yamraya, she's actually thinking to herself, so because she just seen what Eren's done. She felt it. And she says, wait, so Eren has it. So there is hope within the walls. And I'll touch upon that later. Because that's something that you got to keep in mind. She said some very important shit, Yamraya. But, or, I'm sorry, Ymir. Yamraya, whoa, what the fuck am I thinking about? But, what happens is that as Eren's running away, in comes Reiner in Armored Titan form. Yeah, Armored Titan form. He's like forming shit, and he's like, fuck. Of all the people in the world, not him. No. It cannot be. It cannot be. The coordinate. And I'm like, the coordinate? The coordinate? The fuck is that? The coordinate. Now, we don't know what he's talking about exactly, but we can assume that he's talking about the ability that Eren just showcased. Which, I think he's calling it the coordinate. Which we can assume, for now, that power was given to him by his father when his father injected him with that substance. And we don't know if the coordinate is, because some Titans have like unique powers, right? At least as far as we know, okay? And sometimes, I don't know exactly, but it's just that when it comes to the injection, maybe the injection was this unique power alongside with the Titan powers, because we don't know exactly how people can actually transform into Titans, whether it's via like a certain, like maybe they're born with that ability and like they don't realize it, probably not, or it's through like experimental means, or maybe Titans themselves can become humans, or maybe Titans were humans first, then became Titans. Yeah, maybe Titans were humans first, then became Titans later on. Then they go back to being humans, and those who can go back to being humans become Titan humans that can transform back into Titan form at will. Don't know, but all I do know is that this power is a massive threat. So again, right? He's all, yeah, he's like the coordinate. It has fallen into the hands of the worst possible person. Eren, with the streak still on his face, he's yelling, "No, shit, I want to kill you!" And then he's yelling at Reiner. The Titans all of a sudden they're like, "Nani?" Like, "Nani?" And then they straight up look at Reiner and Colossal Kid, and he's like, "Fuck!" And then straight up pack mentality. Pack him. Straight up pack him. And then it's like they all converge on Reiner and the others. And basically Ymir decides to go with them, and then they leave and they don't come back. And the chapter ends on that. So let me mention a few things here, and then I'll go back to the whole coordinate thing, alright? Because that, of course, is the main meat of the chapter. When it comes to Ymir, because like we see a lot of scenes in this chapter that are actually very good. We see a scene where it's basically like when we have Mikasa talking to Eren, it's like there is all this chaos around them, but those two just seem so serene. Even Armin and Jean are on the verge of death, because it was like freaking Reiner in the Titan form, in Armored Titan form, was just throwing all these Titans like, yeah, like straight up shot puts, like, yeah, straight up throwing all these Titans. And one of them actually happened to fall near Jin, and Jin got knocked back, and then he got knocked out. So even Armin and the others were near death. They were about to die. Okay, Commander Irvin is just like, or Irwin, whatever his name is, he's just like in the middle of all this like shit. He's just surrounded. And then he's looking, and like his boys are trying to protect him. We have Coney, and we have well, now her name is actually Historia. They're taking, and Ymir, they're fighting all these Titans. And so it was a very nice depicted scene, because amidst all this chaos, there was these two individuals who seemed to be so uniquely apart from that chaos, who seemed so serene when it came to Eren and Mikasa, that moment where she's just thanking him. So that was a very nice depicted scene. But getting back to what I was saying about Ymir. Ymir in this chapter says something that is actually very important, that I want to keep in mind here. And what she says, after she's trying to like decipher what to do at this point in time, should I either go with the Survey Corps, the Scouting Legion, what do you want to call them? The Recon Corps, the Survey Corps, the Scouting Legion, I don't know. Too many fucking names, alright? Basically, she's either deciding whether I should go with them, and should Historia go with them, or should I go back with Reiner and the other guys? Because what she's deciding here is that there's something going to happen within the walls, and we don't know what it is. But she says, and I quote, alright, even if I survive this, there'd be no avoiding the hell that the inside of these walls will soon become. But then at the same time, she says, now, and right here, now's the only time to send Historia over to that side. But I won't be able to protect her to the end with my power. So what she's saying, what she's hinting at, is that there's going to be some chaos within the walls, something going on. And I don't know what it is exactly. We have no idea. None. But, actually no. Let me make a hypothesis. We know Titans reside in the wall. At least in Wall Shiina. Now, I don't know if Wall Shiina is bigger than Wall Rose or Wall Maria. I would assume that they're the same height. But if in fact Wall Shiina is taller than the other walls, we can assume that colossal class caliber Titans are all around Wall Shiina. So this chaos within the walls may in fact be one day the Titans, the colossal class Titans inside Wall Shiina break the fuck out, like, yeah, fuck it. And they go on a tear. And they wipe out a majority of the people that live in the inner wall. And Eren's ability gives hope. Why? Because he can somehow control Titans with this coordinate system, or like the coordinate that he has. So that's very important, and that's what I think we should keep in mind. Maybe it's other people that can transform into Titans. They're gonna start going on the move and start causing chaos and havoc. Don't know. It may be like there's a massive army of Titans on the outside, on a wall, like in the inside of like a wall of Maria. They're gonna start invading Wall Rose, like in like waves and shit, and pull like a World War Z and like start doing like some ant mentality shit and like climb, like make like a big Titan ladder and shit and just hop over, like fuck it, like we in forever. I don't know, but there is gonna be some kind of quote unquote hell that is going to occur soon. So Ymir's hitting at something big here, and that's to keep in mind. And Eren's powers may be the only way to actually prevent this thing from happening. Another thing that I want to point out is also from Ymir. Ymir, so she decides to go over with Reiner and Bernault, or Kid Titan, Kid Colossus, whatever his name is, or fuck him. And because I can't say his fucking name, I just can't do it. I'm like, how do you put? Fuck it. Whatever. Basically, she actually like puts her finger on Historia's head, and she in her Titan form says like, okay. So What this means is that, remember the Ape Titan? How he could speak, like, legitimate good English? Or, you know, the Japanese? Wherever you guys get it, he can speak human tongue. Fuck. How old is he? Seriously, because from my recollection, Ymir, I believe that, we don't know how long, I think it was like 60 years she was in her Titan form. And, because Ryan and the others, they were talking about it. So, and also, if you remember, back in the, way back in the actual chapters, the whole thing with the Survey Corps history, where there was an individual who had a book, and then one of the Titans like bowed down before it and said a fucking name. So I believe that the longer a Titan has existed for, they can actually assimilate human, actual, legitimate human thoughts, and start to have some cognitive ability here, where they can start thinking and acting and speaking on their own. And maybe, in fact, all Titans can become humans. Again, we just don't know. Maybe all Titans were humans. Again, I don't know. But it's very important to note that Ymir, when she ate, because according to the history, she did in fact eat Reiner and Kiklos' friend. Or father, or something like that. Associate. Early on. And she wasn't aware, well, you know, she didn't know. She wasn't aware of that. She just ate him. So, at some point, she was able to gain control over Titan powers, or at some point, she was able to gain a more human thinking pattern, a human consciousness, a human train of thought. And she gained human power, she became a human, something like that. Again, it's very hard to tell because we don't know where it could lead. It could be either or. It's kind of like the egg versus the chicken. Which came first? Don't know. No idea. We'll see as the story goes further. But that's very important to know. That apparently, over the course of time, Titans can become very intelligent. And actually speak human tongue. Now, so that means that we can assume that, for example, if the first Titans exist, the first Titans, if they exist, they'll be like the Elder Titans. And they can speak straight up, human tongue easily. They're very intelligent. They see things that humans cannot perceive because they are technically immortal, since all they need is the sun to survive. You know, just stuff like that. But again, we'll see how that goes later on. The next thing I want to point out is Reiner and Kid Colossus. Okay. Reiner is dead set on protecting Kid Colossus. He's dead set on that. And I wondered why that was. And I'm thinking, well, maybe because when I think about Titans, he's the only colossal Titan we've ever seen active. He is the only one of his kind that actually exists, that at least as far as I know. I mean, we've seen the 50-meter class, we've seen the Ape Titan, and he's right above that, 17 meters tall. But no one is spanning over 50. He is. So, I'm thinking, well, maybe the reason why, one of the main reasons why Reiner is so hell-bent on protecting him, because Kid Colossus, he's not a complete bitch. He's not. I mean, he can fight. He's been trained. He can at least do that. It's just that maybe he's the last of his kind. Or maybe his kind, yeah, maybe he's the only few members of his kind left. Because the 15 meters, the 2 meters, the 7 meters, they're all about. They're everywhere, alright? You turn your head, you see a 15-meter class Titan walking down the fucking meadows and shit. But you hardly ever see the Colossals. The only time we ever see a Colossal is either A, inside Washina, or B, when Bernal transforms. So I'm thinking that maybe he's unique. Maybe he's special. Maybe his kind are very, very, very rare. Therefore, him dying would be a huge loss to the other party. And that's probably the reason. I mean, I believe that strongly. Yeah, I do. I believe that he is unique amongst, because I think that very few people can actually go into Colossal Titan form. So, I mean, maybe it's another stage. I don't know. No idea. But as far as you know, Colossal Titans are rare as fuck. They're rare as fuck. So, but that's it. The chapter rating overall. Oh wait, and Actually, yeah, I already mentioned the whole stuff about the coordinate. I mean, again, I can't really make that many deductions based on that, so I'll leave it at that. So I'm done. The chapter overall, I thought it was a great chapter. I thought it was a great chapter of Attack on Titan. My first review for it. Long, kind of. I mean, because normally my chapter reviews are like this. I like actually talking about the details in depth as much as I can, as much as possible, because that's the way I do things. And all I can say is that I'm looking forward to next month, because next month it's going to be a die-down period, obviously, because they're no longer being chased. And we're going to see now where Eren's going to lie in this system. There should be a time skip. There really should, because I really want to see, like years later, like Commander Erwin's still captain and shit, Levi's back in full health and shit, and then we have like these hardcore veterans of the, you know, like the original 10 members who are still left now, Sasha, Coney, Historia, them actually like becoming like honed warriors and shit. So, and I think that she actually takes her first kill this chapter, Historia. Yeah, I think so. But either way, I'm hoping, I want to see a time skip, but probably not. I mean, I'd like to, but who knows. Either way, chaptering overall, I think it's a great chapter, Attack on Titan, and I'll see you guys later. Be sure, of course, rate, comment, and subscribe as always. Peace. Have a nice day.